Every night, at exactly midnight, her phone went silent. Not turned off, not hidden, not even moved. It stayed where it always stayed, on the counter, on the nightstand, sometimes charging beside the bed, always visible, always ordinary. And then, by morning, there was nothing. No messages, no threads, no notifications, no evidence that anything had existed at all. To anyone watching from the outside, it looked like peace. But peace, in some homes, is just well-edited silence. He never questioned it, not because he didn't notice patterns, but because trust had become a routine. 9 years of marriage create something strange, not certainty, not suspicion, but blindness that feels like stability. Dinner at the same table, morning coffee at the same time, conversations that never needed translation, a life that felt too familiar to question. And that familiarity was exactly what made the system work. Because she wasn't careless, she was precise. Every night, she erased what could be seen. Every night, she cleaned what could be touched. Every night, she reset the visible world. And every night, she forgot something she could not touch. The network. It didn't start with suspicion. It started with delay. A smart home response lagged one evening, barely half a second. A light turned on slightly late. A speaker reacted a fraction slower. A thermostat refreshed out of rhythm. Tiny errors, the kind no one writes down. But he noticed. Because systems inside a home have rhythm. And when rhythm breaks, even slightly, your attention follows it. The next morning, he opened the router interface. Not because he was looking for betrayal, because he was looking for explanation. What he found was not emotional, it was structural. A device he didn't recognize, connected after midnight, disconnected before sunrise. No name, only a MAC address, a hardware fingerprint, a device identity that exists before apps, before messages, before human interpretation. And it kept returning, night after night. Always the same window, always the same pattern. Midnight, connect, disengage before morning, repeat. At first, it could have been dismissed. Modern phones randomize identifiers, devices reconnect, signals fluctuate. But patterns don't lie when they are too consistent. Because this wasn't random behavior. It was structured timing. Every night. Same time window, same connection duration, same signal range, same physical proximity. And that last detail mattered most. Because signal strength doesn't describe emotion, it describes distance. And the strongest signal wasn't inside the house. It was just outside it, near the driveway, close enough to connect, close enough to disappear before morning, far enough to never enter. That's when the pattern stopped being technical and started becoming narrative. Inside the house, nothing looked wrong. She still moved normally, still laughed at dinner, still placed her phone face down like any ordinary habit, still spoke about normal things, weekend plans, work messages, everyday life. But every night, a different system was writing a second version of reality, the router. It didn't interpret, it didn't judge, it didn't assume, it only recorded. Time of connection, device identity, signal strength, duration. And that was enough. Because truth in systems is not emotional, it is repetitive. He didn't confront, not yet, because early certainty is dangerous. Instead, he observed, night after night. He logged timestamps. He cross-referenced smart home delays. He mapped connection windows against internal motion sensors. And slowly, a structure emerged. Not speculation, not belief, structure. On nights when the external device appeared, internal movement always followed within minutes. On nights when it didn't appear, the house stayed still. No noise, no overlap, no randomness, just alignment. And alignment is what turns coincidence into evidence. Then something changed. The MAC address shifted. Different identifier, same behavior. This detail mattered, because modern devices can mask identity, but they cannot easily mask rhythm. And the rhythm stayed identical. Midnight, driveway proximity, short connection window, disconnection before sunrise, repeat. The system didn't care what name the device used. It tracked behavior, not identity. And behavior was becoming impossible to ignore. He stopped treating it like observation and started treating it like reconstruction. Every night became a data point. Every timestamp became a marker. Every router log became part of a sequence. No emotion, no interpretation, just chronology. And chronology, when complete, becomes unavoidable. 73 connection events. 11 cross-referenced smart home anomalies, multiple nights of identical timing, all pointing to one repeated external presence, outside the house, never inside, always close enough to connect, always gone before morning. One night, he looked outside during the connection window. The house was quiet, the router blinked, the network log updated in real time, and there it was, a parked vehicle near the curb, engine off, still, present only in timing that matched the logs. Not speculation anymore, confirmation, the physical world aligning with the digital one, the visible matching the recorded, two systems describing the same moment from different angles, and both agreeing. She never noticed the timeline forming, because nothing in her visible world had changed. Messages were still deleted, apps still cleared, history still erased, but none of that touched the infrastructure recording beneath it, because deletion only affects surfaces, not systems, not routers, not logs, not timestamps, and certainly not repetition. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't build tension. He didn't need to. He placed the folder on the table, printed logs, chronological order, night after night, timestamp after timestamp, device after device, signal after signal, no interpretation, just record, the kind of evidence that doesn't ask to be believed, because it already exists. She didn't interrupt. Not because there was nothing to say, but because nothing she could say existed in the same system anymore. Her version was memory, his version was infrastructure, and infrastructure always wins against memory, because memory can be rewritten, logs cannot. Modern homes don't just store comfort, they store behavior, quietly, constantly, without permission or preference. The router doesn't know love, it doesn't know betrayal, it doesn't know intention, it only knows connection. And connection leaves traces, every time, without exception. And in this case, those traces formed a pattern that no silence could erase, no deletion could undo, no explanation could rewrite, because the house had already written its own version of the truth, and it had been recording it all along. The most unsettling part is not what happened inside the relationship, it is what existed outside of it the entire time. A system quietly watching, recording, remembering, without ever being asked. And long after everything else was gone, the router kept blinking, still connected, still logging, still unaware that it had become the only witness that never forgot a single night. If this story made you question what else is silently being recorded around us every day, then you already understand the premise of this channel. Because in the next case file, the pattern wasn't just repeated, it was hidden in plain sight from the beginning.